Nicole, we would not be able to do Alphabetti Spaghetti if it wasn't for our friends at Strawmax. So with that in mind, I thought I might give you a little bit of information on Strawmax generally. Where do you want to start? You've got horses, you've got owners, or you've got the planet.
Let's go the planet. Save the world, Dee.
The first thing I really like about this is that they source all of their material very close to their plants. So you're not creating a big carbon footprint at the beginning of the journey, at the creation of the straw pellet bedding offered by Strawmax. It's actually all done very locally to where it's created. So that's your first point. The second bit that I really like is that actually it continues on its journey after it has served you well. After you've done all of the other benefits of having a straw pellet bed, it can also create a manure. A nitrogen-rich manure, not just any manure, nitrogen-rich manure, which is useful for anyone who likes gardening, or farmers, or anyone who cares about the soil generally. So there's more to go, basically. After you're finished with, and you've taken all the benefit of Strawmax, pass it on. Okay, I'm going to start with a song. Right, quiet at the back. I'm going to start with a song. It says, these are the lyrics, because I always think it's helpful to have the lyrics before you hear them, okay? Well, I didn't see much future when I left a Christian Brothers school, so I waved it goodbye with a wistful smile, and I left the girls of Tuam. And sometimes when I'm reminiscing, I see the prefabs and my old friends, and I know it'll be changed or gone by the time I come home again. Oh, I wish I was on that N70, stone walls and the grass is green. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Alphabetti Spaghetti. It's the Saw Doctors. Yeah. Welcome, every one of you. Tilly Barrett, how you doing?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing, Dee?
I was good the first time I started Alphabetti, and recording on a new platform this evening. I unfortunately realised part way into Alphabetti that there was it wasn't just a question of pressing record. It also gave you an option that says "Okay?" ? Which I hadn't ticked. So I'm here. I'm good, and thank you for your patience. Peter, how are you?
I'm very well. I mean, I have to apologise, listeners, because I was a bit of a delay to the beginning of the first effort at recording this. Long old day on the road, but we're fully charged with a bit of gin and ready to rock.
What I'm hearing here basically is I'm the only one of the three of us who hasn't messed up this recording so far, so I'm going to wait until we're really on a roll midway through and throw a curve.
As ever, Tilly, you are the consummate professional.
Always.
You are quite a pro, Tilly, I must say. Well, I've always been impressed.
Damning with faint praise there. You are quite a pro.
No, I am amazed by the volume of fun and words that you produce in the weekend.
Oh, thank you. That's kind.
You could be
too many words.
You could be drinking cherry beer at 6:00 p.m.
or AM,
belting out the tunes, and still get whatever you do, bum ratings out.
I would argue that the bum ratings do write themselves if you have the cherry beers at 6 p.m. though. It's almost a necessary part of the process. So.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
That was trickier at badminton this year with the lashing rain and.
Did you do them at badminton? I didn't see your coverage. Did you do bum ratings at badminton?
I've never actually. You know what? I've never actually officially done the FEI World Bum Rankings. It's a super secret list, except it's not super secret because Andreas Ostholt is always the winner, and everyone knows that.
Yeah.
That has never actually been published because I fear the law.
Is it the same as the normal FEI rankings that it's the 6 best results that count?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I document them all
in a rolling calendar year. Yeah.
Yes.
Your Lamulin bum is out. But you get to count your Marbach bum.
Have to maintain good performances. If I start seeing any sagging, you are moving down the list every month. End of the month, we update these things. You know. Tammy Smith, I saw today, has moved up to number 5 in the world on the FEI World Bum Rankings, and I've got to say she's doing a similar movement in the in the bum rankings, not the event rider rankings. So good for her. Well done, Tammy.
Well done, Tammy.
Moving on up in the world in every way.
Excellent. It's the letter N. So thank you to Stromax for your kind and patient sponsorship of this show, and for your willingness to always go where no other brand would go and put your name alongside Alphabetti Spaghetti. If anyone out there is looking for dust-free bedding that you don't have to clean your horses that often, I think that is isn't that right, Peter? Lash in a bag of Stromax and you're grand.
I mean, there's pretty much nothing in what you've just said that I could in any way disagree with.
Because I listened to one of your shows recently about dust and you don't like it. No.
I mean, I have to say that's my favorite topic for a show is dust.
No, yeah. I heard a show over badminton and I was walking through badminton in the squelchy boot trade stand area, listening to a show, and all I could hear was you walking around. I don't know, one of the shows, and you were talking to Nicole about well, I better not go into a stable with my white gloves and find dust behind.
Don't ever let anyone tell you you're not a fascinating man.
I am. I mean, more to the point, listeners, we need to be more aware of the state that Mr. Byrne turned up at badminton in, wearing. And in fairness, Mr. Watson wearing shoes that had holes in, and wearing some sort of loafer attire to the muddiest badminton we've had for 10 years, if not more.
And this is not your first time getting the footwear totally wrong at badminton, D. So this is what fascinates me, because pre-pandemic, I had to take you off to the trade stands to get some proper shoes because you were wearing some kind of fabric Swedish slip-on situation, and it was Scandi chic, yeah.
Yeah, I remember what you bought me.
Incredible incapacity to learn.
You bought me the orthopedic boots.
Yeah, I think they're a pair of Ariat boots, aren't they? I've got photos of you being fitted for them. It was a real moment.
And this year,
and then we went and looked at a
Fairfax
wooden carved gorilla.
Sorted you out. And then I saw you as you were leaving. I mean, I don't know how you would get on a plane with about half a ton of mud attached to the soles of your feet.
I know. Badminton, yeah. Badminton was muddy. What a weekend. We'll come back to that. But no, thank you to Fairfax for saving the day as always. But that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here at the moment to Alphabetti Spaghetti, and that means if anyone out there needs a dust-free bed, not too much cleaning, affordable and nice, Stromax, that's your man. Now, with no further ado, do you have a favourite Nirvana song, Tilly? That comes in from... Actually, Maureen was asking, where or what is your Nirvana? But I've adapted it.
Well, look, I'm going to answer both those questions. My favourite Nirvana song is Drain You, which anyone who has taste will agree with. And if you had asked me the latter question, 20 years ago or so, I would have said that Nirvana is my Nirvana, because I spent most of my 10-year-old year fairly well convinced that I was Kurt Cobain reincarnated, notwithstanding the fact that he died when I was 4, but I was fairly certain, yeah. So, but very big Nirvana fan when I was younger. Very big Nirvana fan.
You know, I was as well, Tilly.
Are you?
Yeah, I was. Well, I think we've had the conversation on the show before, but when I was growing up in this small rural Irish town, one of the major topics of conversation amongst the school children of Tullamore. You only needed to ask one question to divide us all up. And that question was, are you a raver or a grunger?
Yeah.
Obviously. Cranberries and Nirvana went onto the grunger side.
Grungers are so much cooler than ravers. Much cooler.
I was a raver.
No.
I was a raver.
Oh,
X-Works jeans and scooter. Back in Ireland. Do, 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 do. But Nirvana, okay, so you had you'd Nevermind, the famous album of the baby swimming after the dollar. But also
the baby who tried to sue them retroactively a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's nudity on that album cover. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think it worked.
You also had,
Let's try though.
You had around the same time, Tilly, I don't know if you remember, you had that Unplugged in New York album, which was the album.
Do I remember Unplugged in New York? Come on now. Yeah. Obviously.
Well, anyone who knows will know, but if you don't yet know, or you're not really sure if you like Nirvana, it's as a musical thing, just as a, if you're just going out for a hack or you're going out into school, listening to Nirvana, I think it's about 1994, Unplugged in New York. It's one of those kind of classic pieces.
Just going to say, with that album, now that we're in the era of streaming music, I think we're all very much also in the era of playlists and not listening to albums top to bottom. That is an album that you stick on and listen to top to bottom. Absolutely. Yeah. Do it the old school way. Do it the analog way.
It's a weird, isn't it, that's fully gone. When we only had CDs or cassettes even before that. Even CDs allowed you to skip, which was really rare. Tapes, when we first started listening to them, you had to listen to the whole thing. And we missed records. I know they're back now, but the initial one I missed.
No, I've got a pretty good vinyl collection, and it's far too difficult to skip songs. I mean, you can do it, but it's not that straightforward.
Spike, were you a raver or a grunger?
I think I was more of a grunger than a raver.
Yeah, good lad.
Yeah, I think so. I have to say, strictly speaking, I was probably neither, but I would definitely have been a Nirvana. Yeah, I would have been back in the 90s. Yeah, I would have loved a bit of Nirvana when I was back in my teenage years. Talking about your vinyls,
teenage me and teenage Spike could definitely beat up teenage D, basically. So that's good to know.
Teenage Spike would have been scared. I was going to say a really bad word then. We wouldn't get an E word. But I'd have been teenage Spike would have been really scared of teenage Tilly.
Oh, I was harmless. I had my lip pierced, but I was harmless. Pink hair and lip ring and adorable.
You could give a mean stare though, Tilly, couldn't you? Like you had.
Probably. I don't think I've got much of an RBF though. I don't think I naturally have a mean face. I unfortunately naturally have one of those faces that leads people to think that they should just approach me and talk to me. And I wish I didn't. I wish I looked meaner. I don't think I've ever looked that mean. I think I'm constantly in pursuit of a meaner sort of look for myself, and I was just not nailing it.
No, you're more of a kind of a hapless look, I would say.
Thanks. Wow. Yeah, I can't really argue with that.
It's kind and it's welcoming. Peter, have you ever had a nemesis? This comes in from Emery. Do you remember that famous quote from Snatch? Do you know, Bricktop? Do you know what nemesis is? A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by an appropriate agent, personified in this case by an horrible me. I did that once in English when I was
I'm really appreciating the that quote from the movie. It looked great.
Good, huh?
Wow.
No, I've never had a nemesis. I don't think. I mean, there's probably a bunch of people out there going, "Yeah, I am your nemesis." But I'm not sure.
Tilly, have you have a nemesis?
I don't think so. I think probably, like Spike's just said, I think there's probably a few people out there who think that perhaps we're in a nemesis situation, but I'm unfortunately too hapless to be conscious of these things.
I just meant your face was happy.
If only you had more hat.
Thanks. Okay, no, that's fine.
You are totally together.
I can't think of ever having. I'm not really well constructed for that kind of thing, because I don't know. Just don't really have time for nemesis. I'm much more of the, that bit at the end of Mean Girls, the she doesn't even go here bit when the girl comes to the school assembly and starts crying because she wants everyone to hug it out and eat cakes full of sunshine and rainbows. That's kind of a bit more me. I'm like, let's just not be mates, it's fine.
I'll be honest.
Basically, I'm too lazy to have a nemesis.
Do you have a nemesis?
Yeah, I've had nemesis all my life. It's one of my main. I'm calmer now, but I would say age 15 to 25, nemesis were the main driver of my personal growth. It was like, give you an example. My cousin, the firstborn of the family, of the wider family, the eldest cousin, the first grandchild, she was annoying. I can say that. She won't listen to this.
It's quite a strong step to go from annoying to nemesis, isn't it?
Yeah, but well, I hope I'm getting nemesis right in this situation, having defined it. But I will tell you something.
Was she the Joker to your Batman?
No, she wasn't a Joker in any way. I'll tell you what I did for my Leaving Cert, which is your A levels. So I was 17, 18. I put a picture of her on my desk because everyone used to talk about how smart she was and how she did so well in her Leaving Cert. And she was 2 or 3 years older than me. So I put a picture of her on my desk. So every time I sat down to study, I'd be like, you think you're smart? I am going to ace these exams.
Are you okay?
I
was going to say you're so petty, but that's not even really petty. It's just weird. Yeah.
Honest to God. Teenage Diarm.
You're being motivated by your nemesis.
He was a driver for me. Saw her in the garden centre not too long ago. She lives locally. We don't speak. What's that? Neat, also from memory. Are you organised or a slob?
I'm a slob. I'm a slob through and through. Anyone who's ever shared a table with me in a media centre knows that I'm a slob. Within 30 seconds of sitting down in a media centre, no matter how fancy the place is, I have expanded to fill all available space, and I will continue to do so if the space expands to fit my whims.
Yeah, I like that.
I am a gas, basically. Yeah, it's not great.
Are you neat, Peter, or are you a bit wild?
I don't think I'm at either extreme, to be perfectly honest. I like things that to have their place, but there's absolutely no way the wife would say I was neat.
Do you keep things in order? Like, what's your shoes like in the press? Are they all lined up beside each other neatly?
My shoes are lined up relatively neatly because Camilla would like them to be lined up relatively neatly, and probably neater than I leave them.
Yeah, Tilly, do you?
I like my veterinary world to be neat. I like my truck and my drawers to be neat. But the front seat of my car is not.
That's
neat.
Kind of essential, I think, with veterinary things.
Yeah.
Though, otherwise you end up injecting the wrong thing with the wrong stuff, and that's
the passenger seat footwell is not neat. It's very rarely neat. That's like a dumping ground.
What kind of stuff? If I was to look in there now, what kind of stuff would be on the ground in there? Like Scotch egg wrappers.
Yes.
No way, you're a dirty man, aren't you? Eating a Scotch egg driving along like David Brent.
Hang on. Scotch eggs are designed to be portable food. When else are you meant to eat?
When else would you want me to get a knife and fork out, sit down on the side of the road?
It's just so David Brent. Like on the road.
That's quite funny. It's a bit. That's bad in there. Like when it fills up to the same level as the seat, then you have to know you've got to do a bit of mucking out.
Would you really?
My car's a bit like that as well. I feel you there.
Not good.
A neighbour asked me today to drop him. He's going to America. And he asked me to drop to the hotel to get the bus to the airport.
I didn't think you drove, D.
Oh, I'm a great driver. Just don't like driving in the UK, Peter. Very funny. I see what you're doing
Italy.
there. Or
any country, really.
Okay, both of you have had to pick me up on my travels. I'm a very good driver at home. We'll just deal with this head on now.
You're a good passenger seat DJ. I'll give you that.
I have never rented a car.
Is that because you can't? Is there something that we don't know about you? Is there like is there some reason that if you go to a rental car place and you give them your identification, they're gonna be like, no, not Mr. Byrne.
Your car is blacklisted, this man. Not after the incident with the Volvo.
The fishing trip from Gavin and Stacey.
Don't speak of
it. I've just never done it. Now I have it in my head that, like, when am I going to learn to drive on the other side?
We're on the same side of the road, Chief.
I know, but I would be. But in England, I'd have to get a new car. I'd be nervous with a new car, I think. Like coming out and
Look, I hire cars week in and week out, and knock on wood, I've never had anything bad happen. And you've been in a car with me. Like, I'm not a bad driver, but also I'm, scotch egg in one hand, iced coffee in the other hand, cigarette between a set of toes, driving kind of like that. So if I'm fine, you'll be fine.
I think I just need to break the ice.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a grand driver. Like, I wouldn't be like, I can drive.
Right, Arkin this year. I'm putting you as a named driver. Actually, no, that would be a high bar. I'm putting you as a named driver on my car, and you're going to do one of the drives into Arkin at some point.
The other side is just hard.
That's a horrible city to drive in, so that's actually really mean of me. Arkin is not nice to drive in.
Mary 13 wanted Nirvana for the opening music. Good shout. But we went with the Saw Doctors Mary, but we discussed Nirvana. Mary 13... novels. This is a good one. Novels. I think I've already talked. You're Dick Francis, Peter, aren't you? We'll come back to you in a minute.
The only author to ever exist.
favorite genre or favorite book? Tilly.
God, favorite book. Okay, that's quite hard because I don't like picking favorites for anything. As people will know if they've ever read my team picks for any 5-star, I can't ever pick one of anything. One of my favorite books is NW by Zadie Smith. I've talked about Zadie Smith on this podcast before. I love her. I also, and this is probably going to be a little bit of an unexpected item in bagging area, really love Thomas Hardy. Jude the Obscure is one of my favorite books. Favorite, what was the other question? Favorite genre? Probably just like literary fiction, which isn't really an answer because it doesn't really mean anything. And anything that's not on a bestsellers list is probably a little bit more interesting.
Well, that was Thomas Hardy. I didn't see coming.
I love Jude the Obscure. I read it for the first time when I was 16 or 17, and it's that book specifically. I just think is really brilliant, and it's got the ultimate gut punch plot twist in like the latter quarter of the book, which is just
spoiler alert.
That is not a spoiler. Just saying that there's a plot twist, and I'm telling people that they should read the book if they want to get punched in the gut by the plot twist. I'm going to tell you what it is. Got to read the book, and then I'll start a book club and we can talk about it. Have a group cry to Jude the Obscure.
Have we talked before about the book that made Denise? She never recovered. The Emotional Wreck.
Oh, what was that? A Little Life.
A Little Life. Yeah.
Oh. I'm going to see that this month, the stage version of it. And that I never recovered from that either. I remember talking to you about that and being like, I listened to an audiobook while driving to Arkin or something. And I was like, another thing. Anyway, I'm going to go see it with James Norton getting his willy out in the lead role this month. So James Norton.
Getting his willy out on the...
play on the stage. I know. 4-hour-long play. 4-hour-long play. Probably with no interval because they want to maximize the trauma.
How many?
But on the flip side, he gets his kit off. 4 hours.
That's too much.
It's the first time I've ever booked a matinee for anything. So I'm like, it could be there all bloody night if I book an evening show.
I once went to see Evita while I was drunk. I was drinking in the middle of the day. And at the pub, I saw Evita advertised and was like, I love Evita. Like, I like Evita.
You do love Evita, don't you?
I do. Yeah,
I feel like Evita's come up in conversation so many times.
I've no other musical. You all love musicals. I've no other musical references, and I just like Evita. But I went to see it. Like, terrible choice. But in the middle of the day, I was like, I love it. Yeah, I walked across the road. How much? 100 quid a ticket? Yeah, I'll go. No worries.
That's what I've had to pay for a Little Life ticket. 100 quid a ticket.
Yeah.
100 I do think, however, for 100 quid, 4 hours worth of show, actually, once you break that down hour by hour, it's not too bad. If it was a normal length show, I might be quibbling it a bit, but yeah. It should be good, though. I mean, the reviews are good. The last thing I went to see on the West End was the Cyrano de Bergerac adaptation that had James McAvoy in it, and that was unbelievable. And it was kind of a modernized Cyrano de Bergerac, and James McAvoy rapped in it, which sounds really, really naff, but actually it was unbelievable. He was so good, and I love Cyrano de Bergerac. Great story.
Yes, great story. We learned French through that fella. And actually, would you believe, I think I saw the original of that when I was about 5, Tilly. My dad brought me to see it in the cinema. One of my first ever films.
The original of Cyrano de Bergerac. Oh, the original film, I was about to say. Cyrano de Bergerac's been around a bit longer than you, I think.
Depardieu, I think, played Cyrano.
Yes, he did, yeah.
In that one.
Depardieu.
That would have been in the 90s.
Great film. I think I watched that in French class as well, actually, in school. I think that might have been my first Cyrano experience, was watching that while attempting to learn French and not doing very well at it.
Jeez, we are so cultured, aren't we? I can't believe it.
So cultured.
It's great to have you on. Like, sometimes you find yourself talking about, smut. Sometimes we're here. Deep.
Don't worry. Nicole's not here.
Smut and Cyrano.
She, she's doing another recording. She actually was like, "Do you need me on?" And I thought, this is a terrible. If we bring Nicole in during the erotic book section.
Oh, we're going on to erotic books next. Okay, hang on. Let me grab my Jilly Cooper collection. We'll do some dramatic readings.
No, well, she's not here to defend herself, but I don't think it's Jilly Cooper she's reading.
No.
It's. Have you ever read any erotica, Peter?
No. I do like a Jilly Cooper, though, in fairness.
You answered that too quickly. I don't believe you.
How dirty is it? Because I've never read it either.
Jilly Cooper?
Not
that dirty.
She's more suggestive, is she?
No. Jilly Cooper's pretty anatomical. She talks about sticky bushes a lot in a lot of different contexts. Like, it gets fairly anatomical in Jilly.
Is it kind of like British whimsical fun though? Is it kind of like
British?
It depends on your sense of whimsy, fun, and Britishness.
Well, I kind of mean
not
like
innuendo. It's not innuendo. It's very much.
Is it like the Carry On films? That's what I think.
No.
No.
I think we've moved on from the Carry On films.
It's quite
as a nation, intense. I'd like to speak for Britain.
It's not very Carry On. It's like, it's quite extreme in all ways. I mean, Riders particularly.
I wouldn't be prudish in any way. I wouldn't think.
I don't think you're a prude.
But I would say, like, Irish men, we wouldn't be.
Again, speaking for a nation there. Thanks, Dee.
I think I can safely speak for most. Maybe the youngsters are further from their tyrannical past. I don't think Irish men would ever chat about that kind of stuff or would talk. I don't think it's like, just for the record, I don't think it is me. I think this is a whole generation.
No, I agree, and I don't think it's just an Irish thing either. And I actually think it would be pretty British as well, generationally, to find it all very embarrassing to talk about sex, but also to talk about money or to talk about anything. That we've got this real sort of private matters thing, which I think it's massively a generational thing. So I don't think you have it in sort of Gen Z coming through pretty open about most things, and probably for the better in a lot of ways. They talk about money, which we should all be talking about money, actually. We should all be walking around wearing T-shirts with our bloody salaries on them so that everyone can be getting paid what they should be getting paid. And also, without going into a long rant about talking about sex and the openness of kind of sexuality and feeling comfortable verbalizing boundaries and things like that, because that's far too serious of a topic for this podcast, but it is important. There is no reason not to talk about it. It's fine. Funny bits of your body and funny bits of other people's bodies, and it's all grand, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right on that. I mean, it's very embedded in culture. In Irish culture, you don't talk about it. But actually, would you believe quite a lot of campaigns at the moment around learning to talk about it, not just kind of from a sexual consent and a whole understanding that we've had to go through in that sense, but also medically, because actually people just won't talk about parts of their body because
absolutely.
Anyway.
Well, and culturally, I think if you look at a lot of the things that we have kind of been trained not to speak about, whether it's money, whether it's sex, whether it's whatever it is, a lot of the time, if you really start to sit down and unpack that, it's because people not being comfortable verbalizing things is a really good way to keep groups of people in their place. People not talking with their co-workers about what they're all getting paid for doing the same job is a really good way to keep things like gender pay gaps on the go. People not feeling happy talking about sex and talking about, even just being able to sit down and talk to your friends and understand what is normal, whatever normal may be in that context, or what is right or what is wrong. It's a really easy way to stop people from understanding their own boundaries and the boundaries of consent, which is such a kind of nebulous and ever changing thing. I think kind of on culture that's on the topic of consent and how it changes all the time, that I May Destroy You program that Michaela Cole did, that came out I think 2 years ago or something, just a really, I think it was 8 episodes or something, a really, really great short series that just explores what consent is and how we have this really black and white and binary idea of what consent is, but actually it is a really shifting thing, and it's such a situational thing. But only by being able to talk openly about these things with people can we get a grasp of that, because otherwise, especially for young people, you go into these situations and you have no idea, and you're learning as you go, and so often taken advantage of because there is no open communication. I mean, God bless the internet in some respects, because people can now go on Reddit forums and go, is this a normal thing that has happened, or for me to feel, or am I normal? Is everything okay? And actually get some sort of anonymized advice. But yeah,
I think
not being embarrassed by things is a superpower.
I think that's a really interesting thing on the internet and like the information age, that while we actually say now, while we talk about now that the internet is bad in that it's allowing people to access all sorts of mental stuff, ideas and images. You're trying to imagine, like, Jesus, is this really good? Is this a good thing? Like, if you could go back and get
totally,
in the conversations around AI now, where people are saying we need to get a hold of AI before it takes over the world. If you could go back and get rid of the internet, like, part of me would kind of like, there is a nostalgia attached to like, geez, life was maybe a bit more simple before the internet. But
totally. I think the thing with nostalgia though is we look at the gold tinted things, don't we? People look nostalgically on all sorts of ages where it's like, okay, well, maybe that was good, but this other thing was really bad. And you look now at people who are teenagers, people who have grown up surrounded by information and easy access to information, and it is no coincidence that it is that generation that is so much better versed in a whole number of topics related to diversity and understanding quite confusing topics for a lot of people about, things like cultural appropriation, things like gender binaries, things like all this stuff that for a lot of people is very hard to grasp and in a lot of ways feels quite frightening. But when you've grown up with access to people from with all sorts of different perspectives and access to all sorts of different kinds of information, it does create on one side of the coin the chance to create a more balanced society. Of course, the flip side of that coin is more access to information can also be used as a weapon as much as it's used as a tool. And would we be better off without the internet? In some ways, yes. In some ways, absolutely not, I don't think.
I agree.
But it's hard to regulate one without destroying the other, isn't it?
It'd have made it hard to record this.
It would have. It was hard to record this anyway, though, because we had a late vet and a man who doesn't know how to press the record button. So
would that have been a good thing? That might have been a good thing. Okay, all right. Here we go. Okay, Jenny or Nananai band, which reunion you are wanting for? Well, I think.
Did you just malfunction? What was that? That was a collection of noises.
Jenny, right? Yeah, right. Jenny Orr has put in this Nananai band, which reunion are you wanting? Right, but I think what that might be is, do you remember MN8? I got a little something for you. I got a little something for you. I got a little something for you.
No, you've lost me there.
All right, which band would you like a reunion of?
Can we include bands that will never reunite because potentially they have a primary member who is no longer in the land of the living, or does it have to be people who could potentially reunite? Because I think all the bands I like have cashed in on guitar music coming back into fashion, and they've all reunited. So I think I'm doing pretty well there. Although I will say, I don't know if it really counts, but Adam Fanthorpe, the photographer, is probably the only other person who can relate to my pain on this. But the Distillers, one of my favourite female-fronted punk bands of all time, has been putting off a reunion tour for about 4 years. It keeps getting postponed and postponed and postponed. And I was finally meant to go see them in a couple of weeks at Berlin, and they've just cancelled. There you go. I'm going to say Distillers because I'm going to count that as them not actually really being together if they can't pull their finger out and tour, and they haven't put an album out in over a decade. So them.
Go on, Peter.
I have to admit, my life wouldn't be hugely music-centric. It's not a subject that I would be totally au fait with, having something that I would be passionately needing a band reunion. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything there, Tilly. I'm not sure if there's anything that I would be massively passionate that I need. Okay,
let's open this up then. You get to go see any musical act, dead or alive, still functioning or not still functioning. You get to go see them front row centre.
Well, I went and saw Elton John in Bristol last year, and it was amazing. I adored that.
Oh yeah,
but he's still alive and still functioning. So,
did you see the videos he put out during lockdown of him playing piano in his garden? And he was doing "I'm Still Standing," but for some reason he was singing it as though there were no vowels in it. It was like, it's very
well,
good.
like in a sort of a northern club singer sort of style.
It was just like half the alphabet had left Elton John. It was
nice. No, I loved that. That was brilliant. I'd love to go and see Elton. Big fan of Elton. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I've got any particular band that I would be driven to say that I need them back together. I mean, apart from Boyzone, maybe.
Well, aren't we all driven by the need for a Boyzone reunion?
No. I don't think I have anything that I would want to. I'm not sure if I've got anyone that I want to bring back together.
I actually have been sitting here wondering about that, Nana and I, all this time. Okay, so I've been like doing it quietly myself. Anyways, na 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 na.
No, it's not.
It is. It must be. Na 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 na. That's what she's doing at the end.
I mean, again, though, that really does play into my question of, do they all have to be alive? Because the Beatles really can't reunite, strictly speaking.
Trixie.
Peace and love. Peace and love. I bring you peace and love. Stop sending me a fan mail. Have you ever hear that one, Tilly?
What?
One of the Beatles. Ringo.
Not Ringo.
Yeah, have you not seen that's that epic video and he goes, I want no more fan mail. Peace and love. Peace and love.
How much fan mail is Ringo Octopus's Garden Star actually getting?
I mean, apparently a lot.
A lot. He didn't want any more. Too much. He had to put.
Do you reckon it's all Thomas the Tank Engine fan mail rather than Beatles fan mail, though? What do you think his most prolific body of work actually is?
Hang on, what? He's involved with
Ringo
the tank.
Starr. I'm sure. I might
involved.
be spreading.
Is he involved with the Tank Engine?
I'm sure he wrote it, didn't he?
He was the original voice over. He was the storyteller for the original Thomas the Tank Engine.
There you go. He was involved with the tank. Thank you, Spike.
He was involved with the Thomas the Tank Engine. But I suspect he's probably better known for his body of work with the Beatles.
Was it Ringo who only got in at the last second?
He got brought in, didn't he?
Why Thomas and friends needed Ringo Starr? YouTube, interesting. Rose has not gotten into Thomas. I've got a very gendered approach to parenting, so I'm loading her up with ballerinas and fairies and.
Whereas Percy's a big fan. Well, I wouldn't say big fan. He's into a bit of Thomas, but modern Thomas is very different. There's all kinds of different
modern
engines.
Thomas.
He goes around the world and he meets all kinds of different people. It's great.
Modern Postman.
Who's laying these railway lines that are taking trains around the world? Is what I want to know.
I have no idea. He just appears in a different country. He's in India, or he's in Japan, or he's in Africa, or Australia. He gets all over the place.
Yeah. Did you know, Peter, that Postman Pat in the new version has a child and a wife?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I've not seen the new version. My life revolves around Peter Rabbit, Thomas the Tank Engine, Fireman Sam, and Tractor Ted.
Peter Rabbit is a bit of a nerd to have included in that, isn't he? See, Beatrix Potter is Peter Rabbit.
No, the new Peter Rabbits.
Peter Rabbit,
quite edgy, aren't they?
Yeah. Epic.
He's quite a cool.
The originals of these things are great. And if there is any people interested in the originals, I had to go on Amazon to find them. but all of the original Pats,
The original Pats.
The original Pats are fantastic, but like they're it's amazing how detailed. Other than The Child Is Asleep, I'd go and get one for you now. The level of detail in a children's
Wake the Child
story.
Up, come out, it's worth it.
It's like there's calculations. I think I might have talked about this before, but there's way too much detail. Like I'm reading this to Rosa and like we're both like, wait a second, where are we in this? Like Elsie is
the
landing.
16th subplot of the book.
Oh, it's okay. Names, Nat L. I quite like this. We're coming to the end of the show now. Nat L. Horses, best and worst. Okay, we don't get many horse questions on Alphabetti, but I let this one in. I like it. She nominates Mr. Chunky for the best name of a horse.
Yeah. I'm glad that was best and not worst. I was going to absolutely throw hands if she was going to say Mr. Chunky was the worst horse name. That's a great name.
Ivor Gooden.
I love
is a funny one. That's good. They're like the horse became quite well.
I love I love a stable name of a human name.
Well,
but
don't they all
me
have
too.
that?
It's usual. So like
Liz Halliday Sharp has a Dave, that Cooley Be Cool horse that she's got at
Dave,
4-star at the moment.
I've
It's a
known-
Dave, and I like that.
I've known a couple
Great
of Brians
Dave.
and a Steve.
Oh, that's Brian.
I think there's some they're strong names.
Mm.
What other ones have we got?
I
love a human name, an unusual human name for a horse.
Yeah. Like a
Do
granddad name.
Do any girl horses? Do they have? You never really hear them, like because I think you get Steve.
You never get a Susan, do you? You never
No,
like Susan
man.
ran really well around badminton. No, it doesn't happen. Maybe we should
They're all
start a
called
trend there.
Queenie, and
Jasmine.
I mean, I've got
strong.
an Arabella. I have an Arabella, so that's
okay,
a
but
personal name.
listen to me, come on, guys. Jasmine, Arabella. I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Let's bring it back to Ireland in the 80s and 90s. Geraldine, Mary.
I know a few Marys.
Geraldine would
Loads
be
of Marys.
Strong.
Geraldine's
name for a horse.
strong. Your mother's name.
No.
Geraldine, but what I mean is, you don't get.
I know a
much
few
of that.
Brendas.
Brenda, yeah.
Brenda. Wow. Oh, I like Brenda.
Brenda.
Trot on, Brenda.
That hasn't stayed.
One of my boyfriend's great fascinations with the horse world coming into it as
one
a
of your
totally.
One of your boyfriends.
One of my boyfriends has an opinion on
boyfriends.
this. One of the great fascinations about the horse world for my non-horsey boyfriend, I only have one of those, is
One
horse
non-horsey
names.
boyfriend.
Yeah, loads of horsey ones. No, God. I'm not starting the sentence again. It has too many words in it. Anyway, one of his great fascinations is horse competition names, which are all roundly ridiculous and stupid to him. I think possibly he also, like the rest of us, fell in love with Hot Bobo at Kentucky, who won the 4-star with Carl Slezak just because the name is so good. But he is convinced that every horse's name is just some variation of Filly from the Bush. So anytime a horse's name is announced in the commentary, is like, oh, it's Filly from the Bush again. So that's his running bit that I have to live with.
You have to find a way into eventing.
I don't think. I think in sports horses we're not as imaginative as in racing.
We're not. No. I got a really good. For some reason, I'm on a PR list for a couple of racing things, and the PR emails that they send me are all very much like fan engagement things. It'll be like, whose horse is going to win the Grand National based on the horse's horoscope and things like that. Anyway, I got one earlier that was a PR ahead of the Preakness, and it's discover your racehorse name. And it's one of those where it's like you get one bit that's from your first initial and one bit that's from your last initial. So mine was, well, it depends on if I go by Matilda or Tilly. Where's it gone? Mine is
Matilda. Go for Matilda.
Cold-Hearted Mystery.
You're not a mystery.
I'm gonna have the least mysterious person in the world.
I love that. You're wrong there because you're not a mystery.
I'm not a mystery. You're a futile mystery. You are also not a mysterious person at all. So that's a futile mystery.
So that's like
futile mystery.
not even worth solving it.
But it's worth solving your mystery.
Yeah.
Spike, you are Savvy Wink, which is a terrible name for a horse, actually.
Savvy
Some of these are really good.
That's like something
Nearly
a mayor would do.
Oliver Townend would be Granny's Dancer, which, we'll give him that. We've got.
Oh, Alphabetti was going so well.
William Fox Pitt would be "Kiss Me at Midnight" Rocket.
Oh, rocket at the end.
Yeah.
Kiss me at midnight. So how's this working? So it's their.
Well, because he's got 2 initials, so that's using the F and the P.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. Let me give you some names.
I never said these press releases I get are any good. Okay.
Bettina Hoy.
She is Moon Strategy.
Ooh, Nicole Brown.
Chief Mystery.
Chief. We're all mysteries. What's the,
We
with the
all have
mysteries?
B because it's off your initials, and we all have B surnames.
Oh, all right.
Burn, Baron, Brown. Yeah, we gotta get rid of the B's.
What's Sam Watson?
Sam is Classy Magic.
Oh, that is a bit of him. What's Rosie Russell?
Rosie Russell is Alien Regret.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rosie. All right, here I'll get one of the. Who's the next question? The next question is from Laura B. Laura Butch. Oh, she's going to be a mystery as well.
She's going to be a mystery. She's a flashy mystery.
Flashy mystery. What's Heather Chapman?
Heather Chapman, who had a great time at Chatsworth with her horse stepping up to 4-star for the first time, is Wayward Sugar. Also,
Ooh.
possibly her stripper name, I think.
Wayward Sugar. And then last one, what's Nat L?
She is Chief Chaos.
Oh.
And I think that's
I'm not
probably
sure if
the
I'd
best
want to
one
meet.
so
I don't think
far.
I'd want to meet a horse called Chief Chaos.
Chief Chaos. Chief Chaos.
Good name for a pony. Good name for a pony. Might use that.
Do you hate Nickelback or do you like Nickelback? These are just a series of yeses or nos.
Awful.
Peter? Oh, Peter.
I have a great memory of
Do not say
one
yes.
of my birthdays when I think I was
Oh,
20.
No.
goodness
dancing
me.
to Nickelback in North London. So I'm going to say yes because it has a great memory attached to it. Not that I'm a massive fan of Nickelback.
Can I ask you questions about what you were wearing? Were you wearing corduroy road trousers?
No,
Quite baggy with a little chain attached to your wallet at the end.
no. I think we were just out on the. We went out for dinner in. Like I was at uni in Camden, so we were somewhere near Camden, probably at a Belushi's or something like that.
I'm sorry. I just need a moment to process the idea of you being a Camden boy.
Yeah.
Your early
Lived in Camden
20s.
for 2 years.
That is a plot twist.
He got rid of.
An exceptional one.
Yeah.
Huh.
He
Okay, proceed. Carry on.
could have had the Libertines, but he chose Nickelback.
I didn't choose. I'm just saying I have a great.
They
memory.
chose you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Natural yogurt. Father David wants to know. How do you use it?
How do you use it? Are there different uses for natural yogurt?
Well, he's got 2 people have given him the big eye, the big red eye emoji thing, as in like, I don't know what that means.
They
It
also
means
want
like-
to know how he's using it.
yeah, how do you use it? For me, the child eats it on top of things. She puts it on her. She puts it.
Yeah,
on
I don't think I've ever used
breakfast.
yogurt for anything other than eating. I would say I like a natural unsweetened yogurt with like berries.
Yeah,
Because then
strong,
it's too sweet
strong.
if you have like a vanilla yogurt. So
Nah,
cuts
flavoured
through the
yogurt.
sweetness.
Gone. You eat yogurt over there, Vet?
I like a natural live yogurt. It's quite good for horses with a bit of hindgut discomfort and a bit of.
Wow. Okay, there's actually another use for it. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to get that.
The nun. Tummy Love and Care. Do you not remember? I had the hots for. I think that's how you describe it. I had the hots for the girl from Love Actually. Any standards?
Oh,
Martine
is
McCutcheon.
it Martine McCutcheon? Yeah. God, she hasn't aged. Have you seen a photo of her recently? She looks exactly as she did in Love Actually. She's probably using live yogurt to moisturize her face or something.
Well, she was the ad for Tummy Love and Care.
A nice lady, I think. She's got nice vibes, Martine McCutcheon.
Do you like chicken nuggets?
For me, a nugget is, well, a selection of nuggets is an essential part of the post 5-star process. I have certain service stations across the UK that I will go to sit and eat nuggets and have a little cry after a 5-star ends. After badminton, that's member services, and you haven't actually done badminton until you've gone to member services and cried over a nugget. So there you go. Maximize your experience next year. Do that.
Like nuggets, Peter?
I mean, much as I do love a bit of trashy food, I wouldn't be a nugget sort of fan.
Draw the line at a nugget. There's only so far you can take that.
I think if I was going down the fast food chicken road, I don't think you can beat a fillet tower burger from KFC.
KFC, yeah, those are bloody good.
I'll see that, and I'll raise you a snack box.
Yeah, that wouldn't make you cry, Tilly. That would lift you up. That would.
Do you have snack boxes in?
We have them in the north. We have that's very much a northern thing, I would say.
In the north.
Do you, Peter? Have you ever had a snack box in your life?
Not knowingly, no.
You big old Tory. You need a snack box, Peter. It's like a chicken leg wing dipped in that bread crust.
What, a KFC we're talking about?
No, like a chipper. A snack box. It's chips and chicken in a box.
Okay, I have a very different idea of what this is. So my concept of what a snack box is, which is a very northern thing, is you do get it at a chippy, but it's basically like everything beige in a box, and then you get like, you know, all the sauces, your curry sauce, maybe Laura sauces, and all the things. Yeah, that's what a northern.
Isn't that amazing how we can just be on different sides of the water. And we can
and you can be so wrong. It's extraordinary. So close. Away.
All right. Well, sure, look, we'll leave it there. We're all friends now, which is great.
Have you selected your favourite N yet?
My favourite N. What do you mean? Oh, well done, Peter. The question. The person who gets the prize. Oh my God, Nicole would give you a gold star if she was here. Brilliant. I liked, even though we didn't really deal with it properly, I quite liked Nat L's nominating Mr. Chunky for the best horse name.
I thought we covered it. We went through a whole tangent to what our racehorse name was.
Yeah, none of us suggested what we liked as horse names, other than agreeing on Mr. Chunky. So I think we.
Do you think it would be okay if there was a Mrs. Chunky, or do you think that would be considered not socially acceptable?
Mrs. Chunky. Yeah, I don't think people would like it. I think they'd find it.
Whereas Mr. Chunky would seem
strong and bold and.
Also, I think Mr. just rolls off the tongue better than Mrs. Mr. in front of any word is always going to sound better than Mrs.
I feel sad for Mr. Chunky that he doesn't have a Mrs.
Snip that for me, Rosie. Snip that for me, Rosie. That'll form part of an audio bed in the future.
We don't know what Mr. Chunky's love life is looking like these days, to be honest. So I think it would be fair of us to speculate. There is every chance that he has retired with a Mrs. Chunky, and good for him if so, or another Mr. Chunky. Also good for him if so.
Peter, this is a genuine question. Of the geldings, once they're gelded, have they got any interest in women? All right, once they're gelded, do they still like women?
No.
All right, I know that sounds basic. Like, I know anatomically they can't do that about it, but like...
Yeah, but they have no interest, whether that be female or male.
Oh, I don't know. I've known a couple of geldings who've been cut really late who just, I think it's almost learned behavior rather than any actual
behaviorism rather
true
than
compulsion. Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, I know that I'm supposed to be excited about this. And maybe they don't really understand why, but I've definitely experienced that.
So they definitely we don't know for sure, I suppose, but do they show tendencies towards women after they've been gelded at all?
The thing is, as Tilly said, I think if you have geldings that have been castrated later in their life, then a lot of that learned behavior is still there.
Sometimes I wish I asked these questions after the show.
Rather than within a show.
Yeah, every so often I'm like, that was one for after. But it's out now. All right. Well, look, that's us. That's us for another week. Thanks for the false starts. Thanks for your patience with the false starts. Thanks for giving up your evenings. It's been a pleasure. Peter Milligan, also known as Spike to Bet, and Matilda Berendt, also known as Tilly.
Also known as my name, just a bit shorter. Thank you for pronouncing my surname correctly, though. I appreciate that. You're the only person who does.
Tilly Berendt. Yeah, you're a star. All right, well done, folks. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Quickfire Questions with Fairfax and Favour, where we will be putting some quickfire questions, as the name might suggest, to some of the best riders in the business. And today's guest is the Bicton 5-star winner, Gemma Tattersall. Gemma, are you ready?
I'm ready, Nicholas.
What is your favourite TV programme?
I absolutely love Friends. So relaxing and funny.
What Fairfax and Favour boot would you wear to a trot up?
I love the Reginas. They kind of can go with anything, and I've got a few different colours, so to match it with jackets and tops and things like that. And I also love the over-the-knee Amira boots as well.
Who is your horse of a lifetime?
Arctic Soul.
What was your first ever blue box delivery?
The Regina.
Gemma Tattersall, thank you very much for doing our quickfire questions with Fairfax and Favour.